Date.
So now, 34 past the hour, President Trump saying there are no talks with Iran or any conversations in the works. This comes as the Wall Street Journal reports that Iran's mounting aggression in the Strait is pushing the buttons of the U.S. military. Fox News contributor Dan Hoffman, former CIA chief of stations. And Dan, good to see you. This month alone, UAE reports that 7 ships have been targeted. That's higher than 0. And at one point during this conflict, that would simply have not been acceptable. What is your read on as to why?
Well, Iran is trying to drive up the cost for the United States and our allies by disrupting trade in the Strait of Hormuz. And they feel like if they can impose significant costs on us, that they can withstand the costs we're imposing on them through the blockade. Iran has continued to make maximalist demands. There are no negotiations going on because Iran is demanding that we remove the blockade, that we release their frozen funds, eliminate sanctions, and stop conducting military activity in the region. Obviously, the Trump administration isn't going to do that. I think what President Trump is doing is asking his intelligence community whether we are pushing Iran to the breaking point with our economic pressure, or whether we are looking at a long-term economic war of attrition.
Okay, so then we go to others in the region. And others in the region include Vladimir Putin, all right? Institute for the Study of War, Jack Keene's group, among others, says Russia has continued to provide direct military support to Iran through weapons and weapons components transfers. They're talking about the Caspian Sea in terms of resupply. What do you think of that, or how do you view that? And also, what about the targeting ability of Iran's military? They have proven to be actually quite accurate, more so than a lot of people would think. Where's that come from, other than Putin?
Yeah, so Russia strongly aligned with China, North Korea, and Iran. And Russia's currency is intelligence. They supply Iran with satellite intelligence derived from human sources as well, so that Iran can more effectively target our bases in the region. Vladimir Putin wants the United States to be tied up in the Middle East, and he wants the oil prices to continue to go up. That helps Russia with the extent to which they export oil. They'll earn more money to be able to conduct their war, their barbaric war on Ukraine.
In the meantime, he's blaming NATO for what's happening in Kyiv, right? And on that rolls. So, I mean, it seems to be all interconnected. And Putin would have great incentive to keep the United States involved in the Strait of Hormuz and Iran for some time. Move further east. This may have surprised a lot of people. Here we go again. Here's the headline. President Trump pushes for Kim Jong-un to have a meeting this year. That's the headline. I was watching the Reuters wire a short time ago. His sister says that the Trump and Kim relationship is, quote, truly excellent. What is your read on this? What would they have to talk about? And isn't North Korea helping Iran as well during this conflict?
Yeah, North Korea has been an ally of Iran for a long time, providing Iran with military technology, missile technology. They're also providing Russia with artillery and reportedly planning to send 50,000 troops to augment Russia's ongoing attacks on Ukraine. I think we have to be careful not to conflate whatever personal relationship the president has with Kim Jong-un with the fact that North Korea is an ally of China and Russia and Iran, and whose interests are antithetical to ours in the region. We have to be careful about risking any appearance of placating Kim Jong-un so that we can get to the negotiating table. I think Kim Jong-un is perfectly happy to sit down with the President of the United States and be perceived as a leader in the world who can go toe-to-toe with President Trump. But as we saw in 2018, those might result in summits, but they might not result in real agreements which would serve our national security. That's where the challenge is. I think that's where the president needs to be asking Director CIA Ratcliffe whether North Korea is interested in making a deal. There's no evidence that they are. Okay. They've been increasing their nuclear arsenal, their ballistic missile arsenal, and threatening South Korea as well as the United States.
Okay, third week in September, President Xi expected to the White House, and we'll see whether or not this Chairman Kim meeting comes following that. Thank you, Dan. Good to get your perspective on all of that. Dan Hoffman, thanks. Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox 1.